A hard-fought court battle, partly funded by churchgoers, was aimed at avoiding this. George Pell leaving court a guilty man.
Cardinal Pell, what's your reaction to today's verdict?
His neutral expression resembled his appearance in the dock. Pell did little more than shift his gaze to the carpet as the jury delivered guilty verdicts on all 5 charges. The charges dated back to December 1996. Pell had just been installed as Archbishop of Melbourne and established a compensation scheme for victims of clergy abuse. The trial heard that after celebrating one of his first Sunday masses at Melbourne St Patrick's Cathedral, he sexually abused 2 choir boys. The victim's evidence was given in a closed court and parts of the testimony was read out in closing arguments. The boys had slipped away from the choir procession and come across a bottle of altar wine in the priest's sacristy, a room off limits to the choir. One of the victims told the court the Archbishop caught them swigging from the bottle. He said Pell planted himself in the doorway and said words to the effect of, "What are you doing here?" or "You're in trouble." The victim said, "There was this moment where we all just froze and then he undid his trousers or his belt, like he started moving underneath his robes." The court heard the then Archbishop pulled one of the boys aside and pushed the boy's head down to his penis. The second victim told the trial he was then forced to perform oral sex on Pell, who also groped him while masturbating. He said several months later Pell sexually abused him again. After another mass at the cathedral, he was pushed up against a corridor wall and briefly groped.
Evidence of the assaults came from that former choir boy alone. He told the court he consigned the memory to the darkest corner of his mind for fear of jeopardising his education and his family life. It took him 19 years to find the courage to go to the police. The other victim never reported the assaults to his family or police. He died in 2014.
At trial, Pell's defence barrister argued that only a madman would attempt to orally rape boys in the priest's sacristy immediately after Mass. Robert Richter QC described it as a hive of activity and argued that the overwhelming evidence is that the Archbishop is never alone in the sacristy. The evidence of the complainant is not supported by a single witness, he told the jury. The first jury to hear the case was discharged when it was unable to reach a unanimous verdict. The second jury convicted Pell on 1 charge of sexual penetration of a child under 16 and 4 counts of committing an indecent act with or in the presence of a child. Pell was charged in 2017 and returned to Australia from the Vatican, where he was the 3rd highest ranking official and one of the Pope's closest advisors.
I'm innocent of these charges. They are false. The whole idea of sexual abuse is abhorrent to me.
After the verdict was delivered, Pell was released on bail so he could undergo knee surgery in Sydney. Chief Judge Peter Kidd said it was in no way a sign of the sentence Cardinal Pell will face. It is simply a sign of the court's humanity in recognition of an elderly person who has been found guilty of serious offences to attend what is an obvious need for significant surgery. Pell is expected to be taken into custody at the end of his plea hearing as he awaits sentence. He plans to appeal against his conviction.